Hello and welcome. You're listening to the PsycHope Self-Help podcast, a space for women where psychology illuminates paths to healing, hope, and personal growth. I'm Dr. Jennifer McManus, a clinical psychologist, and I'll be your host. Each episode, we'll explore a different way to use psychology to enhance emotional wellness. Hope you enjoy the show. It's episode 52, and we're welcoming in the summer. Little personal update. You may have heard me mention on previous episodes that I was doing some traveling through New England. But now I'm back in Florida where I live and where PsycHope is based, the headquarters, if you will. One of my very first stops once I was back from my travels was to visit the beach here in Florida. Walking along the shore is a favorite, simple pleasure of mine. And I was quickly reminded of how much I love finding coquina shells and the special meaning they carry to me. Here in Florida, coquina shells aren't just beautiful. They have a fascinating history, too. There's actually a historical fort in St. Augustine, the Castillo de San Marcos, built in the late 1600s, and it was constructed primarily from blocks of compressed coquina shells. Now, when cannonballs were fired at the fort during battles, instead of shattering or breaking apart, the coquina walls would absorb the impact. The cannonballs would literally leave round dents in the walls, embedding themselves without breaking through. This unique flexibility and toughness is why the fort still stands today. Resilient, flexible, and strong. It's such a beautiful metaphor for our personal growth and healing journeys, too. We might take a few hits. Life may leave some marks, but we don't crumble. We bend, we absorb, and we keep standing. This powerful metaphor for resilience, strength combined with flexibility, is exactly why coquina shells have always appealed to me. Just like those little clams, we can be resilient and adaptable, even when the waves of life get a bit rough. So we're going to come back to finding seashells on the beach. But first, let's put that activity in a more big picture context. Today's episode is another highly requested dose-themed talk. This time, all about how we can use our happy hormones to help manage the unique stressors that summertime can bring. While we tend to think of summer as a carefree time, if we look a little closer, we can find all sorts of hidden stress. Before we jump into highlighting these sources of summer stress, I want to make sure you know that we have 2 free resources to support you through this episode. First is the Dose, Reflect, and Respond checklist, and a brand new Dose of Summer Inspiration handout for you. These 2 go hand in hand with today's topic, and you can download both for free at psychope.com/dose. The Reflect and Respond checklist will help you take what we talk about today and actually apply it in a personal way for you. It's like having a little coach in your pocket reminding you how to reflect on what you're feeling and respond in a healthy, supportive way. And the summer inspiration sheet is full of uplifting ideas to keep you motivated, feeling relaxed, and dare I say, blissful this season. So please go grab these free resources anytime from our website at psychope.com/dose, or just click the link in the show notes. All right, now let's settle in and chat about summer. Now, I know summer is usually hyped up as this time of joy and relaxation. Sunshine, vacations, lazy days by the pool. And yes, summer can be all these wonderful things, but it can also be really stressful. It's not all ice cream and sunshine for everyone. And if you find summer tough, you're definitely not alone. Let's explore why that is. Why summer, of all seasons, can dial up our stress levels. Once we deepen our understanding there, we'll get into how our dose-happy hormones can help us cope with all these sources of stress. Let's start by thinking about what summer brings. Heat, sun, longer days, a change of routine, social events, maybe travel, kids out of school, expenses. It's a lot. As we break down some of the common sources of stress during the summer months, I invite you to notice which ones resonate with you and your life. First, the most obvious summer feature, the heat. Here in Florida, we know this all too well. When it's 95 degrees Fahrenheit and humid, even I am not exactly my most zen self. There's actually science behind this. High temperatures can lead to dehydration and physical discomfort, which in turn can contribute to heightened anxiety and possibly even difficulty concentrating. Basically, being overheated puts physical stress on your body, and that can spill over into feeling mentally stressed or irritable. Ever notice how little annoyances feel way bigger when you're sweaty and uncomfortable? That's the heat messing with us. So if you find yourself more on edge during those scorchers, it's not just you. One quick tip here before we get into those detailed dose tips: stay hydrated. Keeping your water intake up and taking cool breaks can really help keep heat-related stress in check. Sometimes a 5-minute breather in the AC or a cold glass of water can reset your mood during the summer heat. Next, we want to consider how summer days are long, which is gorgeous in the evenings, but it sure can throw off our sleep. Many of us love a good late sunset, but are not big fans of lying in bed at 10 p.m. and still seeing a little light out. On the other side of the day, we need to discuss dawn during the summer. When I was visiting Maine earlier this summer, a line in one of Maine's official state songs, that line being something like, state of Maine, first to see the morning sun. Well, that line was not lost on me. At one point during my trip up there, the sunrise was at 5 a.m. And I'm not talking about a little pre-dawn light in the sky. I mean, it's bright and the birds are chirping to make sure you know it's time to get up for the day. I ended up adjusting my schedule to go to bed much earlier so I would not be dragging when that early natural wake-up call happened the next day. Now, we might not always have the flexibility to move our schedule around, though, and too much daylight can interfere with our sleep cycle. When we're not getting enough quality sleep, our mood and patience can take a hit. You might notice in summer you stay up later, or your kids resist bedtime, and I quote my adorable niece and nephew here, "It's not bedtime, the sun's still out." Over time, though, those shorter nights can leave many of us feeling frazzled and fatigued. If you've been moodier or down and can't figure out why, check your sleep. Summer might be quietly shaving off an hour or two on you. In addition to tapping into your dose hormones over the summer, it also helps to stick to a regular sleep routine as much as possible. Maybe invest in blackout curtains or wear a comfy sleep mask to trick your body into night mode, despite that 8 p.m. sunshine. Also, try to keep your bedtime and wake time consistent. I know it's tempting to let things slide, especially if you don't have to get kids to school in the morning, but a steady sleep schedule can save you from dragging through the next day. Remember, sleep is not a luxury. It's a foundational piece of mental health. Next, let's talk finances. Summer can get expensive. Vacations, weekend getaways, kids' summer camps or daycare, higher electric bills from running the AC nonstop. outings to the water park, all the barbecues and gatherings, and the gifts or food you contribute to those gatherings. It adds up real fast. Financial stress can, of course, show up any time of the year, but summer has all these extra triggers. If you're a parent, you might be paying for childcare or camps because school's out, or maybe you're taking unpaid days off for trips. Even fun stuff like traveling or hosting gatherings can strain the wallet and leave you feeling stretched thin. If you're feeling that pinch, please know you're not alone. Lots of people worry about money during the summertime months. It might be helpful to do a reframe around summer plans by reminding yourself that you don't have to do every expensive activity. Sometimes the simplest summer pleasures, a picnic in the park, homemade popsicles, or a local beach day, are not only way less costly, but have the potential to boost our happy hormones. Keep listening for the whole list of summer-inspired dose activities in just a little bit here. Also, if you do have big expenses looming, take a little time to budget them out. It's not the most glamorous summer task, but planning your summer finances can actually relieve a huge chunk of background stress. Give yourself permission to say no to events if they're too costly, or to suggest budget-friendly alternatives. Our true friends won't mind an evening of board games instead of an expensive night out. Remember, summer fun isn't about how much you spend. It's about moments and memories, which don't have to break the bank. Another source of summer stress I want to highlight is for all the parents out there, especially for parents of school-age children. Summer can mean a major shakeup to our usual routines. The kids are out of school, and suddenly your carefully orchestrated weekly schedule is subject to a way less predictable rhythm. Even if you don't have kids, summer often means coworkers rotating on vacations, projects slowing down or speeding up unpredictably, even your own schedule shifting. While a break from routine can be refreshing, it can also wreak havoc on our sense of stability. We humans tend to do well with some level of predictability. Routines can be comforting and are actually great for our mental well-being. So when summer comes and the normal timetable gets tossed, we might feel ungrounded or anxious without always realizing why. It's like somebody took your planner and shook it upside down. That stress is real. The key here is to find a new summertime rhythm. It doesn't have to be as strict as other times of the year because, hey, it is nice to have a little summer slowdown. But many of us do benefit from setting up a loose schedule or structure for our days. It could be something like prioritizing work during the cooler morning hours, rest in the afternoon on those days when it gets too hot to think, and then self-care or social events in the evening. Whatever works for you and your life, just having some pattern can ease the anxiety that pops up when everything feels chaotic. Moving on to the next source of summer stress, I would be remiss if I did not mention body image issues sometimes showing up. When summer rolls around, suddenly it's shorts, tank tops, and swimwear everywhere. For anyone who struggles with body confidence, this can be a season of intense self-consciousness. The expectation to wear more revealing clothes and feel good about it can be a major source of stress if you're not feeling confident in your body. So, I want to echo a meme I saw a while back. Something along the lines of, you want a beach body? Step on the beach, and there's your beach body. I could not agree more. Every body is a beach body. You deserve to enjoy that beach or pool without a shred of shame, no matter your shape or size. But I also know saying that and believing it in our own hearts are two different things. If you're dealing with that anxiety of, oh, I don't want to put on a bathing suit in front of people, or comparing yourself to all the Insta-perfect summer bods on social media, please know you're far from alone. So many of us, and I include myself here too, have had those moments. So a few ideas to ease this stress: focus on comfort and fun over appearance. Wear things that make you feel good physically. Think soft fabrics, comfy fits, colors you love. And when you're at the pool or beach, engage in activities that tap into your happy hormones and bring joy. Maybe it's playing volleyball, hunting for coquina shells, or building a sand castle with your kid. Here, we're shifting the focus to experiences and forgetting about what you look like. I also want to encourage self-compassion here. Treat yourself as kindly as you treat a friend. The goal is to enjoy your summer and make memories, not to look like a retouched magazine cover. Sometimes your body can be a vehicle for fun in this life. Sometimes it's helpful to appreciate your body for what it allows you to do, like swim, walk, or hug loved ones, instead of how it looks. You've got nothing to prove with your body this summer. You're already worthy of happiness and enjoying the sunshine exactly as you are. Before we get into all the summer-inspired dose tips, I want to mention one more overarching stressor. The expectation that a lot of people have that sounds something like, it's summer, I should be happy, relaxed, and loving every minute. When you're not feeling happy, maybe you're anxious or swamped with work while others are on vacation, or just personally going through a tough time, that contrast can make you feel even worse. It's like an extra layer of guilt or FOMO. Everyone else is having a blast. What's wrong with me? So let's reframe that right now. Nothing is wrong with you, and it's okay if summer is hard. We've just gone through a whole list of very real reasons you might be stressed or feeling down during summertime. So if you take nothing else from the first part of this episode, please take this. It's normal to feel stress in summer, and you're not alone in that. Pressuring yourself to feel great all the time only adds to your stress level. It's perfectly fine to not love every aspect of summer. Maybe you're a winter person and really prefer the cooler months. Maybe you're dealing with some personal challenges this season. Give yourself permission to feel how you feel. It's rather counterintuitive, but often letting go of these ideas that I should be happy no matter what frees you up to actually enjoy the moments when joy does come along. So be gentle with yourself. All right. We've covered a lot of ground, and at this point you might be thinking, check, check, check. I relate to a bunch of those stressors, and now what do I do about it? So it's time to talk solutions and coping, and that's exactly where our summer-inspired dose tips come in. I'm going to give you a summary on the science behind each of these powerful neurochemicals, but if you want a deep dive in this area, I invite you to check out our earlier episode, Harness Your Happy Hormones for Stress Relief, a Dose Primer, which was episode 42. Now, as a quick refresher, DOSE stands for dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins, the 4 key neurotransmitters often called our brain's happy hormones. These are the chemicals that help us feel pleasure, love, happiness, and stress relief. When we're under a lot of stress, like say juggling all the summer stuff we just talked about, our levels of these chemicals can get out of balance, which can make us feel even more stressed, anxious, or down. The beautiful thing is, we can naturally boost each of these in healthy ways to support our mood and resilience. Think of it like giving yourself a little dose of relief when you need it. I'll admit I love that DOSE acronym. It's so relevant in so many different ways. So, what I want to do is offer you some DOSE ideas tailored for summer. These are suggestions to nudge each of those happy hormones into action, which will help counteract stress and support you in feeling more balanced. And I'm happy to share these are mostly fun, simple things, not another to-do list to overwhelm you. In fact, you might find you're doing some of these things already, in which case, keep doing them. Also, remember that in the free Dose, Reflect, and Respond checklist I mentioned, I guide you through reflecting on from which of these areas you might need some support and how to respond. So this is very much about you listening to your own needs. All right, let's break it down with the first of our dose happy hormones. First, we have dopamine, a neurotransmitter that gives you a feeling of reward and motivation. It's what spikes when you accomplish something or enjoy a meaningful activity. When you check off a task and feel a mini celebration inside, that's dopamine. Summer can be a time where our dopamine drops a bit because maybe our structure is looser or we feel less productive, or conversely, we're overwhelmed and procrastinating. A helpful way to get your dopamine flowing is to set small, achievable goals or fun challenges for yourself. The key word here is small. We're not trying to add any pressure. Rather, we're going for little victories. For example, maybe challenge yourself to finally try that new recipe for a fresh summer salad, or bake those berry muffins you've been craving, or set a goal to read one novel purely for pleasure this month and carve out 15 minutes each day to do just that. It could even be something like a mini creative project. Perhaps make a summer playlist of songs that make you happy and share it with your friends, or start a little herb garden on your windowsill. These things might sound trivial, but each time you complete a meaningful mini goal, your brain gives you a little dopamine high five. It can boost your mood and confidence. One thing I love doing is a summer bucket list, not the grand kind, but a list of simple experiences I want to have, like watch a sunset at the beach or have a picnic in the backyard. Every time I check one off, I feel a sense of warm satisfaction. That's dopamine, my friends. Another great dopamine boosting activity for summer is tending to your garden, or even just a few pots on a balcony or patio. Watching something you've planted begin to thrive this time of year taps into that beautiful sense of progress and reward, gently supporting your motivation and well-being. You might also consider getting moving with fun seasonal sports that can enhance dopamine release. Maybe it's kayaking, volleyball, or even a playful beach game. These activities offer built-in mini goals and bursts of accomplishment that spark dopamine and keep your energy lifted. Another feel-good dopamine activity for summer is strolling the beach to collect seashells or sea glass. I promise we'll be coming back around to those coquina shells. Having a successful hunt for these sea treasures can prompt a dopamine release. But we could take it one step further by then turning them into little works of art. This mix of mindful exploration and creative play stimulates reward pathways in the brain while adding beauty to your space. For a simple dopamine lift, consider browsing your local farmer's market. The bright colors, fresh produce, and spontaneous discoveries create a sense of novelty and pleasure, while also reinforcing small, healthy choices that feel good inside and out. Most importantly, though, when it comes to encouraging dopamine, remember to celebrate those small wins with whatever you're doing. Just telling yourself, yay, I did it, or rewarding yourself with a happy dance in the kitchen can reinforce that positive dopamine feedback loop. Next is oxytocin, often nicknamed the love hormone or cuddle hormone. Oxytocin flows when we feel trust and connection. It's big in moments of bonding, like a heartfelt conversation, a hug, or any act of kindness or love. During stressful times, we really benefit from oxytocin because it literally calms our stress responses and helps us feel safe and supported. So for summer, think about ways to connect with others or even with pets. Yes, fur baby love counts too. Make it a point to nurture your relationships. This could mean planning a chill family barbecue or a beach day with close friends, something that brings your favorite people together in a low-pressure kind of way. Or it could be simply having an evening ritual of snuggling on the couch with your significant other, kids, or fur baby and watching a silly show. Now, I keep mentioning fur babies, so I do want to share that even interacting with your pet boosts oxytocin. For example, scientific research studies have shown that petting your dog can increase oxytocin levels for both of you. Shifting a bit here, if the summer heat has left you feeling a bit isolated, consider reaching out to someone you haven't talked to in a while. Maybe schedule a video chat with your best friend who lives across the country, or invite a neighbor for a morning walk. Volunteering is an often underrated oxytocin generator, like helping out at a community garden or a summer food drive, for instance. These sorts of activities can bring a sense of connection and purpose. Another great way to invite in oxytocin this summer is by winding down outdoors with someone you care about. Sharing a quiet moment, whether it's a gentle conversation on the porch, stargazing, or simply sitting side by side in the evening breeze, help you to feel safe, seen, and connected. Next, consider this oxytocin boosting idea. Pack a light breakfast or dinner and head out for a sunrise or sunset picnic. These golden hour moments create the perfect setting for meaningful connection, whether you're with a loved one or a circle of friends. Another oxytocin-friendly idea is to join a local outdoor yoga or meditation class. Practicing mindfulness in community settings, even quietly side by side, can build a gentle sense of belonging that soothes the nervous system. You might also consider heading to a small outdoor concert, a street fair, or local festival to boost your oxytocin. Enjoying music or art in a shared space reminds us we're part of something bigger. And those little moments of shared joy help deepen our sense of connection. The main point when it comes to oxytocin release is to remind yourself you're not alone and to surround yourself, physically or virtually, with a sense of community and love. Even a warm, genuine chat with the barista at your favorite coffee shop can give a tiny oxytocin lift. Human connection is medicine. And if you have a partner, summer might be a great time to infuse some romance or fun. Go stargazing one night, dance in the living room to your song, or simply make time for intimacy. All those loving touches and moments release oxytocin and strengthen your bond. In short, connect, connect, connect. Stress hates company, and human connection, in its many forms, can be an antidote to stress. Now, on to serotonin, commonly known as the mood stabilizer. Serotonin is associated with feelings of contentment, calm, and centeredness. A lot of the antidepressant medications work by increasing serotonin, but we can also boost it naturally. Sunlight is a big one. Exposure to sunlight helps our bodies produce vitamin D, which is linked to serotonin levels and mood regulation, part of why moderate sun can lift your mood. So the irony of summer is we have all this sun, and the key is to use it wisely. Try to catch morning sunlight if you can. Even a 10-minute walk in the morning sun can help your brain chemistry. And it won't interfere with your night sleep as much as late day bright light might. Pair that sunlight with some gentle exercise, and you've got a double dip of serotonin. For example, a morning walk or some yoga on your porch can work wonders. In fact, physical activity in general boosts serotonin and dopamine and endorphins too. So keeping up even a light exercise routine, doctor approved, of course, in the summer can help stabilize your mood. If it's too hot in the day, maybe swim in the evening or do an indoor workout, whatever gets you moving and feeling good. Also, diet plays a role. Summer gives us amazing fresh fruits and veggies. Enjoying those can support your overall health and, by extension, your mood. But beyond these basics, I think a big serotonin booster is savoring the moment. Serotonin increases when we feel significant or valued or when we recall happy memories. So take time to savor the good stuff in your summer. When something makes you smile or you feel at peace, try to pause for a few moments and really let it sink in. Maybe even journal about a beautiful sunset or a fun day trip. Then you can relive these experiences at a later time. These sorts of reflections can keep the positive mood flowing longer. Here's another serotonin supporting idea. Brew a batch of your favorite iced tea. Watching the tea steep while you pause to breathe offers a gentle ritual that calms the mind and supports emotional steadiness. Little side note, I really wanted to recommend making sun tea, the kind our grandmothers used to put out on the porch in the summer. But when I was doing my research for this episode, I found out bacteria can form making sun tea that way. That being said, we can still get the same effect by brewing it with boiling water and then refrigerate it soon after, so it's being kept at a safer temperature. Another beautiful serotonin-boosting activity is savoring an afternoon rain shower, especially from a cozy porch or window. The sound, scent, and rhythm of summer rain can help ground your nervous system and reset your mood, especially on days when you're feeling overstimulated. Gardening is another wonderful serotonin-supporting practice. Getting your hands in the soil, tending to plants, and watching them grow brings a sense of calm consistency that naturally helps regulate mood and support inner balance. I also want to let you know that spending time by the ocean, reading, sunbathing, or simply listening to the waves can offer a steady dose of serotonin support. Natural sunlight paired with rhythmic sounds creates a regulating effect for the nervous system. If you can't get to the beach, consider this serotonin-enhancing idea for summer. Relaxing poolside, taking some intentional downtime to sit quietly by the pool, feeling the warmth of the sun on your skin, listening to the gentle ripple of water, and simply being present in the moment can help stabilize your mood, create a sense of ease, and restore emotional balance when things get hectic. Another gentle serotonin idea for summer: enjoy a solo nighttime wind down outdoors. Light a candle, sip herbal tea, or simply gaze at the stars. These quiet moments of intentional solitude help anchor your mood and soothe your spirit. One final takeaway for serotonin: it's also linked to feeling connected to something bigger. That's why things like meditation or prayer can increase it. So maybe your serotonin boost is taking a quiet moment at dusk to just breathe and feel connected to nature or a higher power. Finally, we come to endorphins, our body's natural painkillers and pleasure boosters. Endorphins are released in response to pain to help numb it, but they also appear during exercise, laughter, and even when eating spicy foods or chocolate. They're behind that runner's high feeling and good old belly laughs. Endorphins basically tell your brain that everything's okay and we can relax and feel good for a bit. To coax out endorphins, one of the best ways is physical exercise, especially cardio that gets your heart pumping. So a lot of the serotonin tips apply here too. A bike ride at dusk, a swim, a dance party in your living room to your favorite summer playlist. Anything that leaves you a little breathless in the best possible way is likely to prompt a release of endorphins and reduce stress. For a joyful burst of endorphins, consider playful swimming at the beach. Whether you're wading through the waves, floating on your back, or diving in with laughter, this kind of carefree movement offers a natural mood lift. Another endorphin-boosting activity is a relaxing swim in the pool. Gentle laps or simply moving through water at your own pace can help release tension and bring on that feel-good sensation from head to toe. Summer is the perfect time to get outside and move in ways that feel energizing, like kayaking on a calm lake or river, or playing a few rounds of volleyball with friends. These fun, active moments naturally release endorphins and help melt away accumulated stress. You might also consider this endorphin-friendly idea. Go for a bike ride on a quiet nature trail or along the coast. The combination of movement, scenery, and fresh air is a recipe for reduced stress and a brighter mood. But guess what? Laughter is also phenomenal for endorphins and dopamine. There's truth to that saying that laughter is the best medicine. Now, it won't solve all your problems, but laughter literally triggers the release of dopamine and endorphins, which improves your mood and relieves stress. So, make room for silliness and fun. Maybe have a weekly movie night for comedies only. Let yourself laugh out loud. Play goofy games with your kids or have a joke of the day with your partner. Even when things are hard, a little humor can be a huge source of stress relief. Another endorphin booster deserving some highlight here is music. Listening to upbeat music you love can give you a mini endorphin rush and dopamine too. So blast those feel-good summer anthems when you need a pick-me-up. Also, I have to mention this one because it's a personal favorite. Get a massage or give yourself one. Research has shown that massage therapy can boost all four of the happy hormones: dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. So no wonder we feel so amazing after a good massage. If a professional massage isn't accessible, even a foot massage or using a massage pillow at home or trading shoulder rubs with a friend can tap into that relaxation response. The goal here with all these endorphin ideas isn't about masking our stress. It's about giving ourselves a much-needed break from it. By incorporating these dose strategies, dash of dopamine from achievement, some oxytocin from connection, serotonin from balanced living, and endorphins from movement and laughter, you're essentially building resilience against stress. You're taking care of your brain and body so they can take better care of you when life heats up. Literally and figuratively. Sorry, couldn't resist. It's not about doing all the things every day. It's about knowing you have a toolkit, a repertoire, right? On a day when you're feeling lonely and blah, you might think, I probably need an oxytocin boost. Let me call my sister for a chat. Or if you're feeling restless and cloudy-headed, maybe you need a healthy dopamine hit. So you decide to finally tackle that small project you've been putting off and you feel accomplished. When you tune in, your body often tells you what it needs. Well, we sure have covered a lot today. All those sources of stress during summer and plenty of dose strategies that can help you thrive through this season. I hope you're walking away from this episode feeling understood and empowered. Summer stress is real, but it doesn't have to steal your sunshine. With self-awareness, self-compassion, and a little intentional action, you can navigate this season with resilience, just like those coquina shells, bending with the waves yet staying intact. Before we say goodbye, I want to remind you to go and grab your free resources at psychope.com/dose. I put a lot of thought and love into the dose, reflect, and respond checklist. It's like a personalized action plan for stress relief. Super helpful when you're in the thick of it and need a quick idea. And don't forget your dose of summer inspiration sheet. It's full of dose activity ideas to support you whenever you might need a little boost this summer. I also want to thank you for tuning into this episode. I know we went from beachcombing to neuroscience to, well, a whole repertoire of summer life tips. That's the beauty of this self-healing journey. Everything is connected, and we're learning how to support ourselves in all sorts of ways. I want to acknowledge you for taking time to invest in your well-being. Just by listening, you're already taking a step toward a healthier and hopefully happier you this summer. As we wind down, I want to wish you a summer filled with meaningful moments, genuine laughter, and plenty doses of joy. Remember, just like those coquina shells, you are strong and flexible. You can handle the waves. Take care, stay cool out there, and much peace till next time.
The information shared on the PsycHope Self-Help podcast is done so with the understanding that it does not constitute professional help, nor is it a substitute for professional help. If you think you might benefit from more than self-help, there are resources listed in the show notes.